was listening to a Cryon video yesterday. I started listening to it, and he's talking about the filters of the seeker. The filters is referring to our psychological filters. We are not even aware that they exist. They are subconscious, meaning we don't know they exist. We don't know they control us. And I saw this filter in place with people proclaiming their love for Jesus Christ and their proclamation of Jesus Christ is King and Lord. I am not judging or condemning people's belief that still believe that, but I am pointing it out from the awareness I have now that that is a filter that is running in the subconscious. That is not actually the true reality, but it's a filtered reality. I can only mention it. I cannot tell people or teach people and insist they believe differently. But I can say that we are operating from the filter that was created through growing up. It's safety. It's the default coping mechanism. We were overlaid with a religion filter that put all of these names and characters in place, and it's a program. We cannot imagine God outside of those parameters. We can only imagine God within the parameter of the Christian filter. And the man, Jesus Christ, which became a God entity in the heavenly realms. But it's all the human imagination that was created through the religious filter. Even if you try to imagine the cosmos and the universe without a Jesus Christ in it, it's impossible because of the filter. And yet, God, if we want to use that term, exists outside of that filter. God doesn't have to have anything to do with Jesus Christ. God doesn't have to relate at all with the Christian story. God didn't start with Jesus Christ, but Jesus Christ started with God. And to me, my multidimensional imagination is open. It's wide open. It does not have to borrow the language of the Bible. I sometimes practice this imagination, and I propose the mental idea. What would happen if the story of Jesus were to be erased from memory? Would our life cease to exist? Would creation cease to exist? No, because God is not dependent on these identifiers and names. God is. Whether there is a story surrounding that or not, the story that was created is the human perception, the human story. But God was before the human story was created and the names were given. Can everything exist without the human story about God? Absolutely. We don't need to keep the filter, but our mind requires these filters because it gives the mind a sense of security. We don't have to believe in Jesus Christ to experience God, to experience the life force, the life essence, creation essence of God. We don't have to have a story for that, but we have been given a story which is the filter that creates the box, the psychological box in which we operate. So for most people here in the West, it's the Christian box and the Jesus box, and we are encapsulated, boxed in with that. We can't free our mind from the story. We can't free our mind to think of God in other terms. For example, the entire Egyptian story of God and creation. We come into conflict with that because we operate out from the Christian program, which divides and separates from the Egyptian program, because the Christian story vilified the Egyptian story. So often Christians will refer to that as occult and demonic or dark arts. But that's only because people have a Christian filter in their subconscious. Truth that came out of Egypt is wonderful, but the filter of Christianity has vilified that, and that's why we have enmity and wars, because we have filters that box God in. Into this program that puts Jesus at the pinnacle of all that is God, and I keep saying that's too small. Jesus Christ is too small. The human concept of a God-man is too small. It's the other way around. Jesus Christ is as much a creation as we are, and I don't really like calling it a creation. It's not a creation. Creation implies separateness from the source. I like to call it an extension. We are an extension, an extension of the express source energy that is God. Jesus was an extension of the express source energy and light that we call God. Yeah. I try to get rid of the filters, and it's necessary.